Another convenience function built into Bluebeam is the ability to manage your autocomplete lists. Going through checking my takeoff and my markups here, I've noticed I've made a right hash of the spelling of this particular entry. I'm going to go and correct it. If I leave that P there, you'll see that Bluebeam offers me a list of autocomplete options. That's what I actually wanted, was that entry there. But what happens is with Bluebeam, everything you ever type into any field or form gets recorded and appended to that list. And you can access that list by going up to Review, Preferences. In the General section, across on the right is Spelling. And next to the Enable Autocomplete function is a Manage button. Click that. Dialog pops up giving you the option to manage your autocomplete lists. And there's several categories in there. There's author, email, label, search, remembers all your search terms. Subject, which is where we basically those are our tool descriptions. And you can add, omit, and mess about with these. And you can also pre-populate them so that you've got stuff conveniently available to pick from when you're annotating. It's quite handy. But if we go into subjects, just one thing I wanted to point out. It's quite sensitive. And if you get the scenario where you've actually created a tool, as I've done here, at some point in the past I've typed this description into a tool. I've just been on the fly rushing doing something. I've then done it again, and at some stage later, somewhere else in the document, I've done it again, but this time I've not included a space between the 100mm laid flat in both entries. So the upshot of what I'm saying is that they are two completely different descriptions, and Bluebeam will do that. It will differentiate between uppercase, any spaces, any slight misspelling, anything that makes it different, and it will kick those out into separate subjects and separate categories within the markup. So you might think you've labelled everything correctly in one section, and then you'll find it appears in a separate section. It's quite easy to just highlight everything and convert it, but it will kick you out into a separate markup, as I say, and give you more work to do when you're trying to tidy up your work inside the spreadsheet. That last point I made, if I grab the length tool and I'm measuring a internal wall supposedly, give it a preset. So I've got hold of that tool. I'm going to rename it 215. I'll do the same again further down the line somewhere else in another document. Incidentally, if you're pulling out a line, if you hold the shift key, it will give you a straight line in. It'll keep it straight for you. So again, I'll go in and I want to change that to even though I'm intending that they're both the same tool, Bluebeam's categorised them into separate subjects purely and simply because of the gap in that misspelling. So just be aware of that if you're relying on that autocomplete list when you're doing your taking off. Again, I hope that helps.